Hey, this is Cam. It's Thursday, November 13th, and today I would like to talk a little bit about my job. Uh, I've been in library work for the past 4 or 5 years. Mostly, that's when I was in North Carolina working at UNC Davis Library. Worked back in acquisitions, and now since the 1st of October up here in New York, I've been working for the Columbia Health Sciences Library, which basically means I work in the circulation. So for the first time since I was a student employee at a library, I'm actually having to deal with people, patrons. We don't call them customers; they're patrons. And so yeah, I'm just going to talk a little bit about my experience because I guess I took working my last job in North Carolina. I worked in the back in tech services, so I didn't have to really deal with people that much, and I guess I really took that for granted. You would think, being at Columbia University's Ivy League school, one of the best in the country, you would think these are some of the supposedly brightest minds ever, you know, and yet every day I'm astounded by the stupidity I see in the library. And I'm like, yeah, these kids, these med students, future doctors, future dentists, future nurses, anything in the medical field, what have you. Uh, Sure, maybe it's okay that they don't know their way around the library that well, even though that's kind of not okay. But trust me, the questions I get are completely stupid, and it's like I'm getting these same questions over and over again, sometimes from the same people. And the okay, I work in circulation, and we have items on reserve for the students to use. They're, like any library, they're arranged in call number order according to the Library of Congress. Dewey Decimal System, all that good stuff. Which no one has to know that in detail, but everyone should know, especially these students, since they're constantly coming to get books. They should know that that's how our items are arranged. Yet all the time, I get people coming up to the desk asking me, "Hey, can I have the blue book?" And I'm like, the blue book, there's lots of blue books. Do you have a title? No, I don't have a title. Do you have an author? No, I don't have an author. Do you have a call number? Do you have anything? Do you even have a subject for that matter? Oh, well, yeah, I can tell you. It's about physical therapy. Like, well, that still doesn't help me. You need to go back and look up the fucking call number because it's okay. For one, it's really easy. You look up in our database, you find the book that you're looking for. For two, it's given to you from it's in your course pack material. You should know the call number. It's been like pounded into your brain. For two, we have a nice little folder that lists all your classes and tells the books that are on reserve for your class. So it's not that hard for you to figure this out. So when you come up and ask for the blue book, you're not going to get that far. And lately, like sometimes I'm willing to work with these students, and depending on how nice they are, because sometimes they genuinely don't know what they're doing, and I try to help them. That's my job. But other times it's just like you can tell they're just too lazy to get this information for themselves, and they kind of come in with a chip on their shoulder. They kind of expect, like, they look at us like me, like I'm their servant, just like they'd walk into a retail store. And it's like a coworker of mine, he made a good point of saying that, they do have the same mentality of walking to a retail store, demanding what they want and throwing a fit if they don't get exactly what they want right away. And it's like, we're not in retail. This is, my livelihood doesn't depend on whether or not you check out a book. I'm not selling anything. My job doesn't depend on sales. So you should be nice to me. You shouldn't be rude, in other words, because it's not going to help you. And I'm not, you know. And some of the other random things that come up, like, okay, so many times I get people coming up and like, how to use a copy machine? I need to make copies. And literally, lately, I'm just like, well, you put money in the copying machine, and then you press the start button. That's how you make copies. Like, do you want me to hold your fucking hand? And they honestly act like they don't. I'm like, you can't be that stupid. You people are supposedly some of the brightest minds in the country. You're at Columbia University and you don't know how to use a copying machine. How to buy a card? Well, the instructions are right there that tells you how to buy a card. You don't even have to buy a card. You can just put change in. It's simple. It's so easy. And yet these simple common sense things like go way over their heads. You know? Uh, and let's see what else happens at Columbia. Oh yeah, yeah. Recently, I got a guy. Well, not that recently, but I got this guy who came up to me and he just asked me. He was like, "Can you ask this guy over here to stop snoring? He's really bothering me." And I'm like, Dude, ask him to stop snoring yourself. You know? Like, really, did you just ask me if I could ask him to stop snoring? And this is the same dude who constantly is coming up to me like, the copy machine doesn't work. It won't take my money. And then I'm like, well, try straightening out your dollar, because, there's not a lot I can do about it. I have nothing to do with the copy machine. Just like I have nothing to do with all the printers in the library. That is not anything, when the paper jams, that's not my problem. And I get the same students coming up to me over and over again, like, wanting me to do something about the printers. And I'm like, I'm not over the printers. I can't help you. You know that the guys upstairs are over all computer issues, all printers, and yet they still come up to me and bother me. And yeah, there's like a 24-hour room near us where a lot of students hang out, and that's where they print stuff, and then they come to the desk to staple their papers. And I had one girl come in, and she was just so rude to me for no reason. She was just like, "Why aren't staplers in the 24-hour room?" I'm like, "Well, first of all, the 24-hour room is a student-ran thing, so we don't really have a lot to do with that. And second of all, we don't just freely like have staplers and things like that out for you, because your students will steal them. That's why they're not just sitting out everywhere. And I'm sorry you have to walk like all of 10 feet to come like staple your papers, but and just stuff like that. And sometimes like you just get the attitude where they look at you like you're there to serve them, and it's just really it's really stupid. And uh but yeah, I guess that's all the bitching I'm gonna do. But I will say this: in the future, if I'm ever in a hospital or going to the doctor, I'm gonna ask them. I'm gonna be like, "Did you get your degree at Columbia? Were you ever a student, resident, whatever, at Columbia University? Because if you were, I would like to see another doctor, because I've worked with you, future doctors, whatever, and it's just amazing how stupid some of you are. So stop being so damn stupid. Stop being so damn lazy. Look up a call number. Bring some kind of information when you want to book, uh, and don't be such assholes, because you all are assholes. And yeah, that's enough of that. Anthony, I hope you start feeling better. Uh, if you go to the doctor, make sure they don't go to Columbia. That would be a big mistake, even though it's all Ivy League. Uh, and yeah, I hope I start feeling better too. I'm having my coffee and, at least trying to wake up. So I will catch you all later. Oh yeah, and I wanted to use this little thing like, hey, you need a book? Bring me a call number. See? Bright idea. Alright,